Caffeine and Octane Lanier Raceway has been on the iRacing map for a while, and the racing map for longer. The 3/8 mile oval just across the street from Road Atlanta has seen many years of activity and is making a resurgence despite closing just years ago. With karting, drifting, and legend car racing back on the schedule, Lanier is back and not just on iRacing. As we go to Lanier tonight, we'll be witness to a tangible yet spread out championship battle. Alex McCullum has just hung on to a points lead strong enough for him to clinch with just a top 3, while Cabri and Kuhn look to knock him down. Welcome to Pitstop TV in the virtual Brazelton, Georgia. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. Zach Murtis is alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the SARA, Sim Auto Racing Association, or SARA, Pierce Fleet Service Super Series for the RS Center Trucking 150. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by Pierce Fleet Service, RS Center Trucking, and Whiplash Simcams. And Zach, race number 11, it's finally here, the championship finale for 2024 season number 1, or season A, however you want to look at it. It's here at Lanier. We are ready to go racing. 150 laps on tap. That is a long race for these supers with no change tires. We'll talk all about the Whiplash Simcams race details in just a little bit, but Zach, going in, it already looks good for Alex, so we'll kind of just skip past the track map. This championship fight, it's just close enough, but also just spread out enough to be very interesting, yet also very much in Alex's court.
Absolutely, Lanier always poses a great battleground, really, for these cars, and especially these drivers here tonight. McCullum, like you said, has almost a stranglehold on this championship. Cabri and Kuhn are tied 13 back. Harbers is a little bit more of a long shot, but mathematically, he might still be in it. There's a few other points battles throughout the top 10 that you might be able to focus on tonight, like Cottle and Grant Brown. And then, I mean, looking into tonight's race, you've got one heck of a starting lineup when it comes to these drivers, and championship drivers all throughout the field tonight. Everything is setting up for a storm here at Lanier.
And thankfully, as you see, cloudy skies, not an actual storm, but yes, absolutely, a really cool championship fight this evening. And it's interesting that Cole Cabri and Ryan Kuhn end up tied going into this race, and by that exact same margin, but doubled, Jacob Harberts is just out of the championship battle. But Alex McCullum, again, he can clinch with a top 3 no matter what the other two drivers do. Otherwise, we're not exactly sure of all the science, all the numbers that go into it. Matt Rolfe has got it down to a science, though, and he'll, of course, let us know of different situations as this race goes on. We are going to sit back. We're not going to try to do too much mathing because it's going to get confusing quick, but we are going to at least we are going to at least try to theorize to a point about where these drivers sit at any given point in time, and how it's going to play into the championship battle. Again, for the most part, top 3 for Alex, and he's got the championship. And the way this race is going to start, he's actually going to start pretty deep in the field, and I think he would actually be losing the championship as we drop the green flag, but that is all going to change as the evening goes on. Let's take a look at the race schedule for the entire season, from Kern County back in January to Lanier now in May. What a stretch this has been, Zach. A few different off weeks in there to make things fun. Mystery Night ended up being Las Vegas for race 7. A really solid schedule, and it's come down to just 13 points at the end.
Absolutely, and I couldn't think of a better track to really end it on. Lanier has always been a great racetrack for super late models, late model stock cars, legends, modifieds, you name it. This track has always been a track that you can go to really show off a lot of good driver skill, and we've got a lot of great drivers in the field tonight. Like even Joel Smith is here right now, so it's looking like there's going to be a lot of good stuff tonight, and we've seen so many great races. Obviously, we weren't with them for the first race of the season at Kern County, but when we got to Irwindale, there was already chaos right out the gate. You had Parker Traves, who tore his nose off and still won the race.
That was New Smyrna. Irwindale was the Alex McCullum and Trayton Lapsevich incident with the net code that took Lapsevich out of the race. I'm not sure if you were there for that one, but that was super dramatic, and Alex McCullum started his tear to the championship potentially in that race because Ryan Kuhn won race 1 at Kern County, and then Alex McCullum went to victory lane at Irwindale, and since then it's been the McCullum show. Granted, a couple of different detours. We nearly had Cole Cabri grab himself a win back at Slinger. But you're right, it was chaotic from the get-go in the best of ways. This season has had its moments, good and bad, and very few bad moments, but even those chaotic moments have been so fun and I think compelling. on a race fan perspective. Some of the drivers, of course, they don't like the dramatic moments, but we do, because we like the broadcast and we like making the broadcast fun, and that's just what it comes down to. These guys have moments that make them uncomfortable, and we benefit from it. These races have been phenomenal, and I think there's a lot of good momentum going into the summer stretch. And Zach, that actually takes me to the next point. Here we go. Here's the right graphic for it. We'll be going to North Wilkesboro just next week, and this graphic is going to get an overhaul after this evening before we go to North Wilkesboro next week, because we have dates solidified for just about the rest of the schedule. But North Wilkesboro next week, May 16th, exactly a week from this evening. In fact, at this point in time, we'll be racing already in a late model stock race for 125 laps, and there will actually be 2 races that night. We'll be running pro late models earlier for 100 laps, then late model stocks for 125. And in case you're wondering, no, there is not a asphalt pro late model on the sim. We're taking the super late model, taking a whole bunch of power out of it, adding some weight, slowing it down, and going, quote, pro late model racing. It'll be a lot of fun for round 4. I think it'll be race 4 and 5 now of that series. But the 1-8 Coffee Company, or I guess now 1-8 Media, national tour will be a lot of fun as we roll into Wilkesboro next week, and then Milwaukee in June, South Boston, Slinger, Langley, so on and so forth. A lot of fun races on the way. That said, Zach, we're here for super late models at Lanier, battling for a championship, and cars are on track for their warm-up session. They've already qualified. Here's a look at Ryan Kuhn in car 72, and well, he's not fastest. Go figure. Alex McCullum, top of the board.
Yeah, McCullum really starting to show why he can learn very, very quickly. In fact, if we look at the warm-up standings, our top 3 in the championship are 1, 2, 3 in the warm-up. They've been out there turning laps, just trying to see what they can do with their cars right now. A little last-minute tune-up session before the race starts. In qualifying trim, though, everyone, including Ryan Kuhn, seemed to be hooked up. So maybe look a little bit towards the race, not just the warm-up itself. I think if, and I mean if, it comes down to it, Alex McCullum is going to throw a haymaker and he's going to start moving cars through the field.
I don't think we'll see too much dirty racing or anything like that. This is definitely
dirty racing.
Well, yeah, these guys don't like to use bumpers, and I think that's a good thing, but they do not like to use their bumpers. I think we'll see a very orderly race still, and 21 cars this evening, a little bit lower on car count here towards the end of the season. That's okay, though. Gives these guys a little more room to work with. But you see air and track temp top of your screen, 73 degrees in the air, 92 on track, and that's going to be a little fluid as the afternoon goes on in sim, since we are in the afternoon with cloud cover high above the racetrack. So those weather conditions, again, going to be changing a little bit, going to be fun to keep up with. And as we go to the grid here in a moment, let's take a look at our Whiplash SimCam's race details with, of course, namely the fact that we are running 150 laps this evening, up to 30 cars. We're going to have 21 this evening taking the green flag. Top 8 will be set by the points metric, even though they qualified. And you know what? Alex McCullum, for the first time, I think, all season, is not in that. I believe he's the season leader in pole positions. He is not in that top 8 for the first time. That is going to be very interesting to keep an eye on. Of course, cautions will count, and we have those 2 green-white checkers should we need them. And Zach, let's go down and take a look at our CC's Business starting grid. And of course, as mentioned, this top 8 will be reordered here in a moment, but Ryan Kuhn, your fastest qualifier this evening. Devin Morgan will sit outside pole. Joel Smith subbing in for Dustin Marquette this evening. He'll start from 3rd. Cole Cabry from the 4th position, or at least qualified 3rd and 4th. Row number 3, Kyle Eli, Joe Schaefer, and around out your top 8 that'll get reordered. Keith Jeffrey and Daniel Folds in the 09, quick in qualifying. He'll just bump into that group. Trevor Edwards, Jacob Harberts, they're the odd 2 out that are in the top 10, but not the top 8. They both have decent pieces underneath them, and they'll go racing inside the top 10 when the green flag drops.
Yeah, and there you see Alex McCullum, like you said, outside the points metric, starting 11th tonight with Jeremy Ashby right on his outside. McCullum is going to have Kuhn drop back to him, so the points gap will close. Spencer Dickinson and Josh Parrish 13th and 14th here tonight at Lanier. Like you said, Andrew, only 20 cars, so we're already 3/4 of the way through the field with Grant Brown and Kyle Meyer starting 15th and 16th here tonight. That is your, what row number is that?
8.
Lord, if I know. 8, thank you. But rolling on into row 9.
Well, the graphic actually just froze for a second. We're going to hope ATVO cooperates. Oh, man. I hate when this happens. We do have a moment, at least, before we go racing. We have a pace lap or two. I think it's going to interfere with the start of the race, but the feed from the racetrack won't be going anywhere. I just got to do this old-fashioned style and tab into iRacing for a moment. And find the right camera as well. Gotta do old-fashioned every once in a while. But there we go. We'll do things from the old TV9, the wide shot, and get ATVO started back up in a moment. We should be racing this time by, or the next time, waiting on the iRacing.com pace car. It will not dive down. That's going to help us. I will tell you. But Daniel Folds now, Zach, going to start from the front row. Keith Jeffrey outside front row. And I told Keith Jeffrey he's got to get a top 5 this evening. He said top 20. We'll see what happens. But some very, very potent race cars starting at the front of the field. Going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, pace car should be ducking off this time by, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah, lights are out on top of pace car in the sim. There it goes, Andrew.
Green flag in the RS Center Trucking 150 at Lanier. This is going to be a fun race. Ryan Kuhn settles into third. He'll power by Keith Jeffrey on the start. Daniel Folds, though, out to a lead. Kyle Eli in position number 2.
And it looks like Ryan Kuhn has really been able to get himself back up there. Didn't waste too much time. He's already up to P3. Schaefer and Meyer right behind him, or excuse me. That's not Meyer in the 88. That is
Keith Jeffrey.
Keith Jeffrey, thank you. They both run similar paint schemes to me with the colors, so it just looks a little similar, but still side by side for that 4th position.
Well, and he's going to fall back down to Devin Morgan, so Schaefer will get clear of that 88 car, and Keith continues to fall back. Looking at 6th here in a moment. And look who's moving up. That's Cole Cabry in the white and red 54 car. That, I believe, is position number 7 at this point. Trevor Edwards right behind, and look who's right behind that 32. The shop guys, they're moving forward in unison.
Yeah, they're all taking it one step at a time right now. And I think the big thing is just getting Alex McCullum up to the front. Because as it stands right now, if I'm doing my math correctly, McCullum should be your champion, but if Ryan Kuhn gains any more positions, that's looking a little bit less of a chance. And whoa, that was very, very close right there between the 112 Devin Morgan and Keith Jeffrey.
Jeffrey now falling back a little bit more, and we've got a race sparking up a little ways up ahead. I saw Kuhn duck to the inside for a moment of Kyle Eli, but that battle stagnates again for the 3rd spot. Graphics still loading. I promise they'll get there, but Alex McCullum working through the field, already looking for, I believe that's going to be position number 8. And just behind them, Joel Smith subbing for Dustin Mombercat. He's joining that shop crew. There we go. Graphics on screen for a moment. Let's fire those back up. Joel Smith working through the field nicely. He is a little ways behind where I expected him to be, but still, car 16 quick.
Yeah, Joel Smith always quick, and just not even a few days to a week ago, he took the world record for the highest IR hitting on the iRacing Sim, youngest driver to do it on the iRacing Sim. So congratulations to Joel, and obviously he's got a lot of skill underneath him, but looking out front, Daniel Folds continuously continue to battle for second right behind. Schaefer has put himself into the mix right behind Ryan Kuhn. Kyle Eli is still holding strong, trying to see if he can hold him off.
At 13 now, 150, and you see Ryan Kuhn trying to go somewhere. We've got positions moving around, though. Devin Morgan now falling back. He's stuck on the outside of those shop drivers. 3 in a row. They had 4 for a moment, but Joel Smith starting to move the wrong direction as these 3 continue to move forward. Edwards, though, lets the 112 get in line, and they will file in single file.
Yeah, it seems like most of the field has been able to get single files. Look at the speed shot here. Everyone rolling on by.
Whoa! Kyle Souza! And he will go to the very rear of the field. No caution, though, for car number 7. I saw Kyle Meyer involved as well. He might have just been slowing down for it, but some chaos there in midfield as Ryan Kuhn finally gets by that 21 car. That's for second, and that's an important position. Now, again, I don't know the exact numbers, the exact scenarios, but if he's able to finish up there, Zach, he might have a chance to take this championship, even if Alex ends up in, what, the 4th position or so. So Alex has got to keep him honest. If the 72 keeps moving forward and gets that next spot, it might be go time for the 1 car.
Yeah, Alex is always really good on the long run. We've seen it so many times this season beforehand, and he's just being patient, Andrew. You got to let him do his magic. You got to let Alex McCollum do his thing, file in, just find his groove and save the tire as best he can. Ryan Kuhn has struggled a little bit when it comes to long run style, but hey, I think if there's quick cautions, I think it'll all play out, and maybe, just maybe, Ryan Kuhn might have a shot at it.
There we go. Now you'll have graphics back on screen. Ryan Kuhn, Kyle Eli, Joe Schaefer, they all follow your race leader. Alex McCollum now through to 5th. Cole Cabry let him go on through. It's just crazy to me how good this guy is. Starts 11th, already into the top 5, inside of 20 laps complete. And I think he'll have 4th here relatively soon. He definitely looks better than the 6th, looks better than the 21. It's when you get up to the guys like Folds and Kuhn that I start to question it. But even then, I think he looks better than those guys right now.
Absolutely. Just gotta find the healthy medium right now. Do your thing. Let the track come to you. I think as we lay the rubber down on the bottom line, it's going to start getting a lot more grippier. So even as these tires wear, you're not really going to notice too much. You can already see the outline of the tires laying rubber down on the track.
Meanwhile, I want to highlight this driver. Jacob Harbert's comes into this evening 26 points out of the championship, and what an unfortunate turn of events for him the last few weeks. Nearly had that win at Slinger. Would have done a whole lot of work for him. Then a bad weekend last time out at Oxford a couple of weeks ago, and unfortunately car 80 a little ways, well, a lot of ways out of the championship compared to where he was a few weeks ago, and no real chance at this point in time to go fight for a championship. But he was here. He made his voice known for sure, and I think Car 80 definitely put the field on notice next time out that he is kind of the underdog, the spoiler to all of this, as we've got a fight sparking up for the race lead. Ryan Kuhn gets right up to Daniel Folds, and this will be a fun one.
Yeah, Kyle Eli has dropped back considerably, so now it's a 2-horse race up front. With lap cars coming into play, Kuhn is trying to set Daniel Folds up for what appears to be a crossover move.
And there's McCollum outside of Schaefer. We're working for 4th. Cabry there as well. He's got it.
Yeah, there you go. Kyle Eli, the next car in line. That would be for 3rd. So if McCollum can get up to that spot, that would be a clinching moment for his championship battle. If Ryan continues to work off that back bumper of Daniel Folds, he's not going to wait around too long before he decides to start making moves.
Oh, right to the back bumper there, nearly was Kuhn on Folds. Now going to look to the inside of the Zeem Setup Shop Chevrolet. Folds right back in line, now goes high, trying to get himself, as you mentioned, kind of set up for a crossover. Not going to happen there. Now looking to the outside of Daniel Folds. Oh, a little bit of contact. And we saw that top side be oh so useful at Oxford. A little bit different here, though, at Lanier.
Yeah, we see Alex McCollum is now starting to get by Kyle Eli to put himself into a position to lock up his championship side by side off turn number 4. But at the line, Alex McCollum now into position to take the championship away.
McCollum up to the position where he would clinch the championship no matter what happens behind him. You see Cabry dive to the inside of Eli. All eyes now on position number 1 and 2. Ryan Kuhn working on the back end of Daniel Folds still, and this is a really tough spot as a driver. Zach, do you want to push? Do you want to sit back? You've got to go if you're Ryan Kuhn. I think you have to go as well if you're Alex McCollum. You have to stay in the top 3. But you also know that you've still got 115 laps to go in this race. Even when you get back to the stripe here, that's tough as a driver.
Absolutely it is. You just got to find a way to really hold on to your tires and save your stuff. You don't have any tire changes. Save your tires, do your thing, and just, as I said earlier, let it all come to you and you'll be fine. And I think we're seeing right now that these drivers are starting to find that medium and know where they can place their cars. As Ryan Kuhn now looks to the inside of Daniel Folds. Folds is giving him the lane, but I think he's going to try to use these lap cars up here as a peg.
That's Kyle Meyer and Kyle Souza just ahead. The couple of Kyles that had issues earlier on in this race. They run 20th and 21st. And Ryan Kuhn noses ahead, isn't quite clear just yet. Nearly, well, I think he had it at the line that time, but nearly had him clear that lap. Going to work on it again here on lap 39.
looks like Kuhn will clear going into the corner. And he's going to take that lead away before they hit the lap cars, but don't look now. Alex McCullum has worked that gap down from 1.3 seconds back to now only 7 tenths of a second back.
And this shows you what's going on at the front of the field, how spaced out the top 5 are, and how they're going to get bottlenecked behind these 2 lap cars, the Kyles, in 20th and 21st. Ryan Kuhn going to have to find a way by. They sit there on the bottom that time, and they both track out to the wall. That's going to make it tough on the 72 to get by.
Absolutely is. They are well within their racing rights to hold their line and try to fight to stay on the lead lap. And that's going to bring in Alex McCullum even more. And Ryan Kuhn is probably going to have to be forced to find a bit more of a clever way to get around these drivers. As he takes a look, not going to get there. Kyle Meyer just keeps the door shut on the bottom. I don't think Ryan Kuhn is actually liking this. And there goes Meyer to the outside. He's going to move on by.
Kyle Meyer falls back and will jump right in front of Daniel Folds, who's second. McCullum then jumps in line. On board here with driver number 1, position number 3. You can see Kuhn's got by the 88, has to work now on the 7 car. Behind these guys, Jeremy Ashby has moved up a spot. He is now ahead of Joe Schaefer, who continues to drop back, along with Keith Jeffrey, who is now stabilized in 9th. But behind these guys, Devin Morgan, who started up front, then Joel Smith in the 16 car. Again, subbing for Mom Burkett. There's Spencer Dickinson in the 6, Aaron Johnson in that 78 machine. Then Grant Brown in the number 14. I know Misfit Productions look forward to that car. But unfortunately, Grant a little bit behind the mark this evening. Looking for some speed as this race goes on. Josh Parrish just behind, subbing for Parker Retzlaff. Definitely an impromptu paint scheme for that number 2. Jacob Harberts, Matt Rolfe, John Owlett there in the 8 car as well. A few stragglers in the back end of this race. Justin Laxton there as well in 19th spot, as the lap cars have moved not an inch.
Seems like Kyle Meyer has found his rhythm, and he's able to work himself to stay with Ryan Kuhn. And Alex McCullum now trying to work back over Daniel Folds, but they're scooters away from Ryan Kuhn, who's worked himself back out to almost a second over McCullum, 7 to 8 tenths over Daniel Folds, and now Cabry has brought himself into the mix, trying to see if he can find a way around his top teammate. Now they're side by side for second, back to single.
See a couple of side-by-sides deeper in the field, but some really good racing going on here at Lanier. I really like this track, and I miss it being on more schedules, but definitely making a good case for itself this evening, as we got a fight here for the 7th position. Ashby has moved on by in the 01 car, although Joe Schaefer trying to take the spot back away. And Joe Schaefer Jr. is an oddity to me. He won out at Southern National Motorsports Park earlier this season, and admittedly, a big part of it was the points metric that put him in that position. But I'm really surprised that he has not gone back to victory lane or anything even close to it since, as the battle now begins for position number 2. Alex McCullum sideways that time on the front stretch.
Yeah, they're really starting to fight now. Cole Cabry right behind them, looking, and Daniel Folds just hit the wall on the back straightaway. That allowed McCullum to close back in, get the nose. Now they're still side by side going into 1.
Working back at it here, Folds on the outside, trying to defend. McCullum inside. Folds now maybe trying to slide in behind the 1 car. No, he'll get a run off the corner. Still beats the 1 to the line. Getting a bit fun here.
A bit.
And now Folds. McCullum moved up the racetrack, completely took the line away. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but boy, did that work.
Really did. Cabry's going to follow him right through. Seems like they're really starting to get things figured out. And one would hope.
You saw Folds gas up there and have to get back out of the throttle not to hit Cole Cabry. Might have been a little frustrated, but not frustrated enough to drive in the back of the 54 car, and that's a good thing as we go side by side behind him. Keith Jeffrey, Devin Morgan. And at this point, Zach, we're just clicking off laps. The top 3 in the standings are the top 3 on the racetrack, albeit a bit misordered, as McCullum rides second, but he is in position to clinch the championship. Your top 3 right where they should be.
McCollum now has some security overall, really, holding in the second position. Folds now dropping to fourth. Eli, who started second, now fifth. Trevor Edwards, Schaefer, Ashby, Jeffrey, and Morgan. Your top 10. Joel Smith, the odd one out, looking in, trying to find a way actually underneath of Devin Morgan as his drivers continue to fight. Now Morgan moving in on Jeffrey to try and see if he can take that position away. But back to single file racing they go.
Wouldn't you know it, ATVO, man, it's struggling this evening. Don't know why. You see some more battling going on here. We'll fall back to the leaders. That way we ensure we don't miss anything. I'm surprised. This 72 car has gone nowhere behind Kyle Souza. You see Cole Cabery. He's, of course, gone by the 09 car. Kyle Meyer back here. And how about a fight sparking up between the 21 and 32? Edwards. Trevor Edwards looking at the inside of Kyle Eli. No dice.
Yeah, Dickinson and Johnson actually now fighting really hard. You can see it right there at the top of your screen back there, just on the outside of the top 10. As Trevor Edwards continues to work on Kyle Eli, but there you see 2 by 2 rows deep. Joel Smith finally trying to make his way around Devin Morgan as Aaron Johnson is sideways underneath Dickinson. Whoa, little bit of contact right there.
That was great. That was 16 of Smith getting free out of turn 2. Devin Morgan outside. Dickinson looking inside of that 112. Won't make it 3 wide. And Grant Brown sitting back here watching it all from the Misfit Productions 14.
Having a blast. Last race of the season, going all out, trying to do what they can to keep it green. I will say, we have gone 68 laps clean and green.
Matt Rolfe working on John Owlett, back of the field. Going to be for 17th position, and a little further back. Well, things pretty calm inside the top 5. There you see Trevor Edwards has finally got by Kyle Eli. That's that fight we were looking at briefly. Next side-by-side back here, going to sort out, it looks like, as Grant Brown works by the 6 car.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's starting to fall into their strategies of how they save their tires, how they're going about their race. Dickinson way up the racetrack, lets the 2 go on by. Josh Parrish falling in, and now we really are truly single file throughout the majority of the field. I say that, and I see Joe Schaefer Jr. is on the outside of what appears to be Jeremy Ashby, trying to see if he can make something happen.
Gotta say, I really do apologize for the issues we're having this evening. I don't know where this has come from. This is, it's not totally abnormal to have 1 or 2 graphic issues throughout the course of a race, but to have 2 complete failures like that is pretty painful, even for me up here in the production booth. Yeah, I really hate that. I don't know where this is coming from, but it'll be looked into for sure after this race. Regardless, up in the top 5, things pretty calm. You saw that Ashby and Schaefer fight. It goes nowhere as we hit cross flags. On board of Schaefer now. Oh, nearly got in the back of Ashby as we officially take cross flags and go halfway in this evening's RS Center Trucking 150. And there is an RS Trucking, not decal, I guess decal, logo here on one of the walls, I believe, on the infield, which I never expected that, but Matt Rolfe filled me in on that one earlier this evening. And let's give a big end of season shout out to all of our partners across the series: Toxic Media Solutions, Studio 10 Wraps, Souza Media, SimWrapMarket.com, SARA Next Gen Templates, RS Center Trucking, this evening's presenting partner, Race1Wraps.com, Pierce Fleet Service, of course, this season's presenting partner and longtime presenting partner of the series, Petley's Garage Incorporated, 1-8 Coffee Company, and 1-8 Media now as well. And, of course, on to page number 2, Boyd's Automotive, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Fast AF Designs, Hides Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Jeff by Junior Art, Justin Brooks Designs, and Matthews Designs. The leaders coming into frame now. Ryan Kuhn finally gets by Kyle Souza. And not much is changing, Zach, around the entire racetrack. Everything holding pretty steady.
Yeah, we've had 82 laps clean and green so far. We have only been green flag for about 20 minutes right now. So it's it's been relatively tame race, and I think what I'm going to do is take advantage of the green flag run that we have, knock on wood, and ask you, Andrew, what has been your favorite part of this season, this amazing season?
I think the Slinger finish has to definitely take the cake. We had some pretty good moments there at Oxford. I know that was fun. I mean, that's just recency bias, I'm sure, but some really fun races across the board. I recall Southern National being a lot of fun, but Slinger might have had the best fight to the flag that we've seen all season long as you continue to watch these guys go at it side by side. Morgan defending for 11th, Johnson on the inside for 12th. And Grant Brown just lying in waiting, seeing if something changes. Up front, the only battle is Kyle Eli and Jeremy Ashby. They're not yet side by side, but Zach, I'll let you answer your own question.
It's a tie between Slinger and the New Hampshire race as a whole. I really enjoyed seeing these guys tear it up at New Hampshire, and it was a really great race in my opinion. But Slinger finish, I will have to say, that's got to be one of the better moments of this season. As Jeremy Ashby now moves around the outside of Kyle Eli, trying to take the position away. I think, yes, he will. He'll get it right here on the backstretch.
And then a side-by-side here, Matt Rolfe and Jacob Harberts. Harberts trying to go forward. Laxton has gone by John Owlett, a couple of stragglers at the very back end of the field, and there you see race leaders moving into frame. Ryan Kuhn going to lap the 8 car here soon. Should get to the 53 soon as well. Avery just following his teammate. And Zach, we can fall back to that Morgan and Johnson fight once more. And we can highlight what's upcoming here at the channel. While this evening kind of just clicks laps off one by one, as mentioned, the 1-8 Media National Tour heads out to North Wilkesboro next week. That broadcast, the time is technically to be announced, to be determined. It sounds like it'll be around 8 p.m. Eastern, not 8:45, but make sure to follow along on SARA and Pitstop TV social media channels for that. Then Monday, how about May 27th, Memorial Day? We'll head out to Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Icon Cup Series, a Monday feature for those guys. That'll be fun, and then we head out to Gateway the following week. But Zach, you just saw, well, nothing really changed aside from Johnson falling behind Josh Parrish in the 2 car. So a quick position change as Ashby now works up to Edwards in the 32.
Has been a relatively tame race, Andrew. I think
extremely tame.
These guys are just kind of really getting their season over with at this point, really. They've had such a great run, and I think everyone knows that the points battle is all but over, truly. It's really up to the top 3 drivers at the moment, that being McCullum and Avery, who are now all within a second of each other. And I think they just kind of get to that point where it's time to let these guys race it out, and then the rest of us can kind of fall in as we see.
Kyle Souza sticking right behind the race leader. He goes by John Owlett, who will now duck in line in front of Alex McCullum and Cole Cabry. They're going to stack up on the bottom side. I don't know how patient the one is going to be. And yeah, there we go. Alex dives to the inside. John will give it to him. Now they've got plenty of time back to Daniel Folds. A second to change. Oh, hello. Alex wasn't quite clear. John was as far up the racetrack as he could go.
That almost got really, really bad.
I don't see a scratch in the 1 car, but that, you're right, that was very close to being very, very less than ideal for the 1 car of Alex McCullum. Thankfully, no incident out of it.
That was almost his championship right there out the windows. We've only got 50 laps to go.
Further back, Eli Schaefer and Jeffrey. This is 7, 8, and 9. So inside the top 10. Joel Smith also back inside the top 10. That 16 car doing some pretty solid work. And again, he's subbing in this evening. He is not a usual driver in the SARA Super Series. But it's good to see Joel here. The season finale. I'd like to see that 24 car when he runs, of course, his own number. I'd like to see the blue 24 here throughout the course of the season. But we'll definitely take it with the 16M subbing from Montbriquet.
I'll be seeing a lot of that blue 24 over the course of the summer.
Yeah, Cookout Summer Shootout coming up at Charlotte. Not so far away, about a month away now.
Oh, don't remind me. So many great things going on in the real world of racing. But now, focus at the moment is on these guys right here. You see Spencer Dickinson working on Grant Brown. Not a lot going on right here. Just really, Dickinson is just trying to find a way that he can get around. He's using the high side, setting himself up for a crossover. But I think he needs to be a little bit closer before he starts working on the crossover move. But it's been a common trend throughout the race, Andrew. I don't know if you've noticed it, but everyone's starting to move off the yellow line and moving to about the second lane up, except really the leaders for the most part.
Yeah, Lanier is a very interesting racetrack. You can run one of 3 or 4 lanes. Whether it's dirt or asphalt, though, you accumulate a pretty low cushion here, where a lot of marbles will accumulate. You can get up towards the wall in a dirt race. You can't actually get way up there, but there will still be that kind of secondary cushion middle of the racetrack, and you can just about see it from this camera even. Right around here in the corners, you can see just a little trace of marbles. Maybe we can use a static camera to show it. Yeah, here we go. Right around there. See all the marbles up there.
See everyone picking them up, too, as they roll through the corner.
Yeah, so the line obviously is below that, so you kind of have the normal line right around the yellow line on the inside, dotted yellow. You can also dive down onto the apron and straighten out corner entry, even corner exit or entry if you want, or you can run a little bit higher and run around that second groove. So 3 kind of options that you can use here at Lanier. Traditionally, of course, you go for that normal racing line right around hooking that yellow line. I like to use the apron if I can. These guys, though, as this race is going on, tires are wearing out, just consistent laps on these tires and track temps rising. Starting to move around the racetrack, and they're starting to move up, as you mentioned.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say in regards to your point is I prefer to stay off the apron here at Lanier. If I'm setting up for a really close pass, then I'll utilize the apron on corner exit just to have that straight exit. But using the apron overall puts a lot of wear on these tires. It really does affect the performance and the handling of the cars. So staying off of it would be the best bet, as we see almost a little bit of contact there. Joel Smith on the outside.
And that is Josh Parrish.
Yeah, he's been moving up through the field a little bit. Now he's trying to find his way through. Joel Smith not making it easy, though, keeping him down low.
Slow car, Jacob Harberts, he's coming into the pit lane. 4th place in the standings, and he's going to park it. Wow.
That is unfortunate for Harberts.
I don't know
if a little bit of right front damage there. He might have tapped the barrels coming in.
I don't know if he got lapped and then chose to park it, as Smith looks back to the inside, nearly 3 wide of Parrish and Jeffries. I am never, ever a supporter of parking it early like that. That's just me. I know other drivers have different philosophies, but I hate when drivers do that. I really do.
Yeah, it is definitely unfortunate to see. And Josh Parrish is now really starting to come to life, Andrew. He's working on Keith Jeffrey right here, and Schaefer is just up in front of him.
Well, and you see that big RKM tape decal, if you will, on the hood of that car. You also have Jeremy Ashby working on Trevor Edwards late in this race. I don't know what Ryan Kuhn found over RKM, but they have found some speed on the long run lately in these super late models, and it's on display once again. Even Ryan Kuhn pulling away from Alex McCullum. He's put an extra couple of tenths on that one car as the race has gone by. They have got some excellent long run speed, and it's showing again here this evening. And, Souza getting into Laxton just a bit. But Parrish moving forward, Ashby moving forward, and Kuhn starting to leave the one car in his dust. They have got some really good long-run speed that's on display again. And now Jeffrey getting the wall. That's only going to help the 2 cars. We have gone by. 30 to go. Big slide there for Joel Smith off the nose of the 112.
This is starting to get a little dicey here as Devin Morgan's now worked himself in to try and take position away.
I wouldn't say no to a caution.
I wouldn't say no to it, and you might honestly get it with how these cars are handling right now. Everybody just on edge as the track temp heats up and these tires are wearing out. Only about 28, 27 laps to go.
The screen going black there, by the way, tells you that these splitters are still right on the racetrack, because when it clips into the racetrack, when that camera clips into the racetrack, it actually makes the screen go black, as you saw. And you don't usually see that this late in the run, but you did there as Ashby looked to the inside of Edwards for a moment. Parrish and Schaefer fighting once again back here. This is for now position number 8. Parrish continuing to move forward. And it's not so long ago that Parrish was under the EPI camp, so it's interesting seeing him with that RKM logo on the car. It's working out for him this evening. They have got some speed.
Yeah, he's really found something in these late stages of the race. He was outside the top 10 by quite a bit of a margin, and now he's working up. He might be able to get himself a top 5. Look at that. He
started 14th.
Dropped
Wow.
back to 15th. Ooh, he just tapped the wall there a little bit, but like I said, Andrew, he's really worked himself up. He's gained 6 positions so far. Looking to gain another on Kyle Eli.
Nice battle here. This is Jeffrey defending over Joel Smith, who was in the top 10, has since fallen out as Parrish went by. And oh, Kyle Eli nearly got jacked up there by the 2 car. Parrish is now on the inside and fighting for 7th.
You say green flag, I say caution flag yellow. Just saying.
20 to go right there. Or I guess this next time by technically it'll be 20 to go. As the leaders get to the stripe right about now. You see the side-by-side behind him as well. Smith still to the inside trying to go forward.
There's Devin Morgan now stepping into the battle. Joel Smith up the racetrack, pinches the 88 to the wall. Look at how close they are coming off 2 and going into 3.
What a fight.
So close right there.
From the fan cam here at Lanier, what a view that is. That's cool.
Now Joel Smith back inside the top 10, looking to make a move here on Schaefer. This whole pack has really just worked himself back in. You've got Parrish leading the way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars.
Parrish
right
through Brown.
That is 7th through 15th.
And we're coming up on 15 laps to go. This race is just about over. But yeah, you've got Parrish, Eli, Schaefer, Smith, Jeffrey, Morgan, Johnson, Dickinson, and Grant Brown all in this fight. And they're still side by side at the back end of it.
It ain't over till the checkered flag flies. We've still got plenty of time for this race to be shaken and twisted on its head as Grant Brown tries to make moves now. Joel Smith still working to get around Jeffrey.
Well, we'll let these guys do their work for a little bit, but we'd be remiss not to focus on our champion-to-be, potentially, in about 14 more laps, Alex McCullum. Oh, man, 2 wins this season. Should have been more, it felt like, for him and Ryan Kuhn. The leading driver in terms of pole positions, always good in qualifying until this evening, apparently. He has been the class of the field, and Ryan Kuhn, Cole Cabry, they've certainly been good. But it's taken missed races and big crashes for McCullum for them to claw back into the championship fight in general. I hate to put it that way, but he just has been the best driver, has had the best car all season long. And again, there have been races where he's been beat for sure. This evening will be one of them. But he has been the most consistently the best driver. It's just crazy how dang good he's been. Doing it again this evening. 2nd place, Zach. 10 laps away potentially from a championship.
Yeah, all he's got to do is see that white flag. That's all he's really waiting for. He's done everything he needs to do to put himself in the position to keep hold of this championship. And I think the big thing that he's worried about right now is the fight going on between about 8th to 15th right now. Josh Parrish is a bit scooted away from that fight. So all of these guys still grouped up right now. This is really what we're watching as Alex McCullum. Oh, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Jeffrey sideways.
Great save.
With Dickinson. You're right. Great save right there. Falls in line. Joel Smith now moving around Devin Morgan. They're still fighting for 10th. Schaefer right in front of them.
So the stat line for Alex, by the way, only has the wins at Irwindale and the Bullring, which is kind of weird that he's only won those races, but he's got poles at 6 different racetracks, which is just over half the season. Kern, Irwindale, Nashville, Southern National, 5 Flags in Oxford. He has just been so fast this season. Watching this battle in the back, but 5 laps to go. Man, I hate that the focus is coming off now, Ryan Kuhn and Cole Cabry. But the one car has just stolen the show all season long. The black and bright blue colors. Now 4 laps away from a championship. Riding on the outside, collecting those marbles, Zach, but with 4 laps to go, the championship, he can taste it.
You absolutely can. There is not much time left in this race. If the caution were to come out, it would have to happen now. Otherwise, we're crowning a champion tonight.
A look through the rest of the field as they work by the flag stand. Saw a puff of smoke there. That was 3 to go. This will be popsicle sticks this time by. Here come the race leaders. There's Matt Rolfe. He's a lap down almost. Then Ryan Kuhn and Alex McCullum. 2 laps to go in the RS Center Trucking 150 and the season. White flag this time by at a turn number 4. Brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Last lap around for our champion to be. Last season it was Ryan Kuhn. He couldn't quite bring it back and run it back for a second consecutive championship. Instead, it's going to go to car number 1, Alex McCullum, your SARA Super Series champion in 2024 season number 1.
What an absolute masterclass by these drivers tonight. A caution-free race. And Alex McCullum is going to bring it to the front stretch and burn that sucker down. Cole Cavery right behind him, but Ryan Kuhn, your winner here tonight. What a race.
Ryan Kuhn with the win, and these guys don't tend to burn it down, don't tend to do burnouts, but we'll see if maybe Alex breaks that tradition and gives us some. No, he won't. Ryan on the front stretch, willing, he looks like no for the 72 as well, but as you said, Zach, caution-free. That is how you get it done at Lanier.
It absolutely is. Ryan Kuhn did not waste any time. Put that car on pole, went to the back of the invert based on the merit and the metric, and didn't waste any time putting it back to the front. RKM, like you said, Andrew, they found something in these long runs, and they were able to really put it on show here tonight.
Really, really good on the long run this season, mostly on the back end of the season. In fact, they found something at Hickory when we went there for the Hickory Double in the 1-8 Media National Tour. I feel like they found something there. Ryan talked about changing packages around, searching for something. Since then, that RKM bunch has been special in these late models, but not special enough to take the championship away. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But Ryan Kuhn, Alex McCullum, Cole Caver, your top 3. The top 3 of the championship, top 3 on the track. Daniel Folds, though, in that 4th spot. Trevor Edwards staves off the fight from Jeremy Ashby. They will finish 5th and 6th. 7th, Josh Parrish, then Eli, Schaefer, and Smith. The rest of your top 10 in the final round of the season. '11th through 20th, you see Devin Morgan, Aaron Johnson, Spencer Dickinson, Grant Brown, Keith Jeffrey, your top 15. Matt Rolfe hangs just onto the lead lap. A few drivers 1 lap down. Laxton, Souza, Owlett, and Meyer. And unfortunately, Jacob Harberts takes it off the racetrack at the end. But, man, what a season. We're going to grab him first. It's our champion this evening, this season, Alex McCullum. Driver number 1 on the racetrack. Driver number 1 on the point standings as well. Alex, you're the champion. How's that feel?
Oh, it feels great. It was kind of getting a little nervous tonight. I didn't think I was gonna be able to make it, but barely made it. I think I joined 45 seconds left. Was able to just put a lap in, and it was a rush. I was getting my race car ready for tomorrow night to go race. So kind of want, I want to race in real life, so kind of have to put the sim racing to the side. But was able to barely make it, and overall it was a good night.
Definitely, priorities mixed there, and I can't blame you at all for getting the real car ready, but how about this sim season, right? To get 2024 started off on the right foot. And hey, this is some good momentum to take into the real car tomorrow night and the rest of the year. This has got to, like I said, got to feel good. You went out here consistently the best car, best driver all season long, and you brought your shop guys with you. Cole finishes 3rd in the championship. I mean, how special is it as a whole to wrap up this SARA season with the title?
Oh, it feels great. For us to even get the team championship too. I mean, all of our guys put in so much work, and Trevor, Kyle, Keith, Spike, Cole, all those guys put in a lot of work for Lanier, and they always put a lot of work in for all the tracks, and I'm really thankful for those guys. It's a really good group of guys. Glad we were able to get the team championship and be 4 times. So to be able to have 4 championships in the Super Series is really crazy, and I'm super thankful to be in the spot.
We've got a lot of racing still over the course of the summer before we go back racing in the fall for points. We go on to Wilkesboro next week. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be able to make it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I registered just in advance. I mean, I'm gonna try. If I'm there, I think we'll have a really good piece. I think it's late model stock, and I think Matt said we're gonna do like a pro late model style super with a engine downsize. So that should be fun. I think our late model stock stuff is actually really good. So we'll see.
And I'll be honest, I said on the broadcast multiple times, it seems like RKM found something on the long run here. Moving over to not just the, quote, pro next week, if you will, and the late model stock, do you feel like you have something specifically for those guys if they found something truly on this long run?
Yeah, I mean, our guys work so hard, and we have really smart guys over on the team, so I'm sure we can figure it out, and we're just going to put the time in. I mean, if they can do it, we can do it. I mean, we just have to find their speed, and I'm sure we'll be good.
Well, not quite the checkered flag for Alex McCollum this evening, but it is the championship. Congratulations, Alex. I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot over the summer.
Thank you.
And Zach, that means race winner. Next up, that's not something we usually say, but Ryan Kuhn goes to victory lane.
Yeah, it's not every day that I'm the one who gets to talk to the race winner, but you got to talk to the champion tonight, Andrew. Ryan Kuhn putting on a masterclass, leading just about almost every single lap, at least 3/4 of the race. Ryan, you put on one heck of a show. You fell just short of the championship. How's it feel to bring it home tonight with a win?
Well, to start off, I want to apologize for my voice. I'm just getting over a cold. Two, it was a really good night. I knew we had a really good car. I did not expect that thing to go green, and I honestly, early on, I was hoping for a yellow or two, but then as soon as I got the lead and set sail, I'm like, dude, let this thing stay green. We got this thing, and put it in victory lane, and yeah.
Absolutely. You did a great job here tonight. Obviously, you qualified on pole. You were exceptionally fast in practice as well. Obviously, McCollum was able to get that car up there, and from what I'm seeing, about 76% of the race, you were in the lead. And one thing I actually do,
and then getting all my customers a little better, and it's really seemed to pay off. And I'm so proud of my group. All my guys stick with me, and all the support I got at RKM. It's we have one hell of a program, and our contender guys did really good last night. Obviously I think we were one spot short in one race, and then the other race is probably going to get the win taken away, but that's okay. But we put a hell of a fight in both series. We just came up short this time around, and I wanted Slinger back. If I could get one race back, it'd be Slinger. I felt like we should have finished up front, and I made a big mistake and put myself in a bad spot there. So hopefully next season will be better. We can be one spot better.
Well, you still pulled a hat trick, really. You got 3 wins on the season. You did an amazing job. Congratulations again, Ryan. We hope to see you in future races, and I hope to see you on a racetrack sometime soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Ryan Kuhn, your winner here tonight. And then jumping a little bit further down the running order, Andrew, Cole Cabry, your 3rd place finisher.
From Ryan Kuhn with 3 wins, the win leader of the season, doesn't get the championship, and then down to somebody who nearly had that race win at Slinger. Unfortunately, Cole, there's always going to be that asterisk and the what if about Slinger Speedway a couple of weeks ago. But you come home now 3rd in the championship, 3rd on the racetrack. Sum up the season for us in a few short words.
Oh, well, I guess is what you can say. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. There's a lot of nights I wish I could have done better, and obviously Slinger, that was a hard one to swallow just because I feel like, well, we won't get into that. But anyways, yeah, just okay season, and just ready for a break.
Yeah, that Slinger race is always going to carry those connotations, but I got to say, I know you say about the season. Anybody, I feel like, would be happy to have this kind of 3rd place season. How do you build on this, though, going into the rest of the summer of 2024, then the fall season potentially later on this year? We have that late model stock race next week at Wilkesboro, then we have a few other races across the country, I suppose, on the sim. How do you keep this rolling?
Well, we just keep building with the team and keep trying to find something comfortable for myself, just like Alex and Ryan have, and work on that. And especially in the late model stock now, I got to find that too. We had some luck in that series. We got the win at Hickory, so hopefully we can carry on from that into the late model stock. But yeah, just an okay season. A little disappointed in it, honestly. Technically never got a win, so that's disappointing. But there's always more opportunities to come.
And of course, I know you and Brother Chase are very much in the racing scene in North Carolina. Anywhere we can find you guys racing soon?
For sure. Millbridge is our home track, and we're always on Dirt Vision, and he's usually winning. I'm somewhere around 8th, so we'll figure it out too in real life, and hopefully we can get a win there.
I'll be watching for that Cabri name. Cole, congratulations again. A strong season. Anybody would take it. Hang your head high.
Thank you, brother.
Cole Cabri, a big season, I gotta say. I know he says just like I told him though. Anybody would have that kind of season happily. I feel like even Ryan and Alex would take it. While yes, they should be winning championships or going first and second at the very least. I don't think they would turn down a 3rd place. But that's race car drivers for you, man. They're never happy unless they're in victory lane.
I don't think any race car driver is happy unless he's in victory lane. There's not much you can do to really separate the emotion of a driver from being in victory lane to being 2nd or 3rd or even 4th on the racetrack sometimes. And it's been one heck of a season so far, Andrew, and I think these guys have showed a range of emotions all around all season, whether it be winning races or getting involved in incidents or just all around having fun.
Well, it's not a heck of a season so far anymore. That was just a heck of a season in general. 2024 season number 1 comes to a close. Alex McCullum unofficially your champion. I think that will stand though for sure. New Smyrna kicked things off of the 1-8 Coffee Company National Tour. It's now the 1-8 Media National Tour. Things changing over there at 1-8, but going to continue on with 2024. And Zach, next up, it's North Wilkesboro Speedway. There's a lot of buzz, of course, around Wilkesboro. Next week, we have the Cars Tour going there. We have the NASCAR All-Star Race capping off the weekend, along with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. A lot going on with Wilkesboro. We're going to take part as well on Thursday evening and take, quote, pro late models and late model stocks there. 2 races in one night, going to be a lot of fun. Then we have Milwaukee for 100 laps in June, along with South Boston, kind of mirroring what you'll see in the Virginia triple header with South Boston and the Harley-Davidson, 300, I think technically, because they have other races that evening. Yeah, they'll have South Boston, they'll have Langley, they'll have Martinsville, and we're kind of taking part in that a little bit. You see Slinger and Langley slated for July, Oxford for August, Martinsville for September, and a to-be-determined race there in October. Still a lot more to come from SARA for the rest of 2024, and this isn't even getting into their fall season, Zach. A lot of racing still on the way with these super late models and these drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see how the fall brawl turns out. It's a great, amazing race to do at Hickory and to see drivers taking it and putting it on the sim.
The real fall brawl, yes, that goes to Hickory. These guys do it a bit differently. They run their own fall brawl. They have for years. I don't think that one's going to be at Hickory. That one's still to be determined.
Well, there's a lot of great tracks that you can actually run the fall brawl at. Southern National, Hickory, North Wilkesboro. Oh, what else? New
Well, it's
Smyrna.
iRacing.
Really
You
good
can take
track.
it anywhere. Take it to Oxford.
You're really good. Well, maybe put Oxford on the back pedal a little bit. I think Oxford's great in its own right, but well, then again, it's a lot more fall up in the north than it is here in the south.
Well, wherever we go, it's going to be a fun national tour season to cap things. Well, I say cap things off, continue things here in the summer of 2024. Watch out for more information about what's upcoming here for SARA and Pit Stop TV in the near future. Next up, as mentioned, we head out to North Wilkesboro. Then we have a couple of Icon Cup Series races. In fact, our 3 broadcasts coming up after this national tour race at Wilkesboro. Our next 3 will all be Icon Cup Series races: Charlotte, Gateway, and then Sonoma. And then we go back racing actually with the national tour. We'll head out to Milwaukee to get things going in June, and then we have some North American Racing League GT3 races coming up in June as well. A lot of great racing on the way. Stay tuned for it all here at Pit Stop TV. But Zach, that'll cap things off for the season. any final thoughts, final words for the season in general?
Give me more, please. Please. This was some great racing that we saw all season long, and I want to see absolutely more of it. And I'm sure we'll see more of it in the 1-8 Coffee Company. Moving forward, I loved everything I saw from this league, from this series. They've done such a great job with everything that they've done, from the race setup to the racing overall to how they do the metric with the top 8 invert. I love it. I want to see more of it. I want to see more series on iRacing doing this moving forward. It's just, I feel like they set the bar very, very high, and we've talked about it multiple times throughout the season. Not a lot of leagues get short track racing down. It's very, very difficult, and I think these guys absolutely nail it constantly, week in and week out, especially since all they run is short tracks.
And they do more than just super late models here on Thursday. You heard Cole mention, I think it was Cole, maybe it was Ryan, one of those two mentioned a race happening last night. They ran late model stocks, I believe, here at Lanier as well for the Contender Series Championship in their own series on Wednesday nights. They usually have 3 or 4 splits there where they have so many drivers running those late model stocks. They also went weekly series racing on Tuesdays throughout the course of 2024 season 1. I believe they had something going on Mondays as well, but they run 3 or 4 divisions weekly with this Sim Auto Racing Association, and they have for a long time. I've taken part in the past. I actually ran street stocks way back when. I think a couple of Contender Series races as well when I was trying to do that sim racing thing. But now, up in the booth, I'm so thankful that Matt Rolfe has had us here over the course of the season, and I'm really looking forward to 2024 and hopefully beyond, because I really feel like this, as you alluded to, Zach, this league sets the bar in short track racing and even in sim racing in general. I feel like the Sim Auto Racing Association does it right, and I can't wait to be back for the rest of the national tour throughout the course of 2024 and hopefully the fall season later on. But that'll do it for us this evening. Once again, this evening's coverage brought to you by Pierce Fleet Service, of course, the namesake of the Pierce Fleet Service Super Series, RS Center Trucking, the namesake of the RS Center Trucking 150 this evening, and Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, and CC's Business, and all of our partners with the series. We'll take a look at them in a moment once these logos get off the screen. There's so many. I think we had to break it down into 2 graphics. I think there's like 20 or something like that. Let's bring that graphic up in about 3, 2, 1. 1-8 Coffee Company, Pedley's Garage, Pierce Fleet Service, Race1Wraps.com, RS Center Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimWrapMarket.com, Sousa Media, Studio 10 Wraps, Toxic Media Solutions, Boyd's Automotive, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Fast AF Designs, Hides Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Jeff By Jr. Art, Justin Brooks Designs, and Matthews Designs. And there will be some season awards handed out on the SARA Facebook page, and I believe even the shop is getting involved in some of that, so stay tuned on social media for that stuff if you're in the league scene. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us this season. It's been a pleasure from Lanier National Speedway, or now Caffeine and Octane Lanier Raceway. Thank you so much to our partners at the channel, Whiplash Media SimCams, ATVO, and CC's Business. We'll see you all next time, hopefully at North Wilkesboro Speedway in a week's time. Otherwise, we'll see you all at Charlotte for the Icon Cup Series on Memorial Day and beyond. Have a great night.